On this episode of Game Shack, I review Magic the Gathering's Game Night 2022, a brand new product for this year, and I'm going to ask if it's worth the $49.95 it costs. I'm going to ask if it's something that a brand new player to Magic or someone who hasn't played the game for a long time should buy, or if you're an experienced player, should you think about picking that up? All that and more coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into the Game Shack. I am your host, JDV for Evil Genius Entertainment. Okay, well, let's just jump right onto it. This is the first Magic the Gathering product I'm reviewing for the channel. However, I've been playing the game almost since its inception 30 years ago this year. I was in college when I started playing it. 30 years ago. So I'm pretty old. Anyway, I've been a big fan of this game right from the very start. It's a sort of a weird combination of D&D, chess, and poker with a collectability aspect of baseball cards. So it's a kind of a weird thing. And it took a while to really take off. But when it did, boy, oh boy, did it ever. It is now an industry unto itself. So it can be a little intimidating if you want to jump into all of this madness as a new player, or a player who, like me, maybe played way back in the 90s, but then kind of dropped out of it once you had kids or got a job or all that kind of thing. So really the question is, I'm not really aiming this review if you're an experienced player, because you already know what this deck is all about if you are. I'm aiming this review at people who are thinking about maybe buying this for a family member or themselves or a friend who wants to get back into Magic or wants to play the game for the first time. Is this a good way to do it? Well, let me show you everything that comes with the game first. Like all Magic the Gathering products, it comes very slickly packaged. More importantly, it comes with everything that you need to start playing these games right out of the box. It comes with 5 pre-constructed decks of black, red, white, blue, and green. It comes with color-coordinated dice and these little dice pads that actually do help keep these dice from rolling all over the place, especially if you're playing on a soft table like a card table. It has 15 double-sided tokens that you can see here. It has little cards that tell you what each deck does and how fast the deck plays, and these little +1/+1 counters. Important to a lot of people is that it comes with 5 unique cards that you can only get in this set, and that's in the form of these legendary creature cards, which is what helps drive the price of these Magic the Gathering Game Night sets up in value. And that's why the original Game Night and Game Night from last year, so there's 2 other previous sets, those sets are going for over $100 each right now, and it is because of these unique cards. While that does help make these sets more collectible, what it also does is make for very snappy, very fast playing decks. Now, one of the cool things about buying Game Night is that you get that very nice rule book, and you might kind of overlook that, but there's not a lot of printed stuff on how to play Magic from Wizards of the Coast. It is kind of thin. That book is really good. That book should get you 90% of the way down the road to learning how to play this game. So a couple of things I did want to mention about the specifics of this. It comes with these 15 double-sided tokens that all relate to each one of the decks. Will have something that will call forth either a zombie or a treasure. One of them calls forth a demon or like a little elf token. And these things are really kind of cool to have because they really do add a lot of flair. Yes, you could just write it down on a piece of paper or use a 20-sided dice or something, but having these tokens included, I know it doesn't cost them a lot, but these things are actually like 50 cents to $1 if you try to buy them on Amazon. So it's a little value there. The dice are actually really solid. They're not chintzy at all. I mean, they're like legit D&D dice. These little, the little things that you put your dice on when you're playing red or blue, well, that actually helps a lot. And it really does keep the dice from rolling over quite as easy if they would just on a hard table. The other thing is you can play this maybe on a blanket or something, and these will hold the dice. These little +1 things, again, not a big deal, but it's nice. It's nice that it's in here. And in terms of the quality of this, it's just cardboard and a vacuum formed plastic. But I will tell you, I beat the heck out of my Magic cards. I don't sleeve them. I don't treat them with any kind of kid gloves. I sometimes will pour beer on a brand new pack that I've opened just to let those cards know that this is where they've come to die. As I don't really trade off my cards, I just beat them down until you can't read the print anymore. And just as that as background, the other one of these has lasted pretty well. It's a little beat up and everything, but it works perfectly well. I think it's great for novice players that are just learning the game. It gives you 5 pretty solid decks that are all competitive against each other and will be nicely competitive against other either starter decks or other game night decks. Or if you're someone who loved the game earlier on in your life but kind of got out of it, this is a great way to get back into it because you get a boatload of cards, you get the tokens, you get the dice, all in this very slick little thing for $49.99. You really can't beat it if you want to get into Magic. Anyway, it's a very enthusiastic thumbs up for me. Magic is a great game, and this is a great way to get into the game. And even if you're an experienced player, sometimes it's kind of fun to play with the decks that aren't quite killer or have really complicated mechanics. Just whip out some dragons and crush your opponent, right? All right, so anyway, a big thumbs up from me. If you like this sort of content, if you want me to keep on reviewing Magic products, let me know down below. I do love the game and would like to do it if you guys want me to do it. Okay, so that wraps it up. Love each other, and I'll see you guys again in the Game Shack. Mwah!
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.